Yo, what's going on, YouTube? So today is a story time. I will be telling you guys about the first time I ever smoked fentanyl. All right, fentanyl, bro. It was a perk. I smoked a Percocet that I knew had fentanyl in it, and I still did it. All right, this was a certain time in my life where I was a degenerate. I didn't care about anything or anyone. I did not care what happened to me. Did not care of my consequences. I seriously had no type of emotional intelligence at the time. Okay, now this story time takes place in 2021. I was in 10th grade of high school. I was 15, okay, 15. Keep that shit in mind. So I'm gonna tell you guys how it all went. So I was in school at the time. I was with my homie. Let me call this. I'm gonna call him. I'm gonna call him Mr. Tweaker. All right, Mr. Tweaker. Right now, this kid, he was my friend. I'm not gonna lie. We weren't really close, but he was my friend. I talked to him every other day. He would always tell me like, "Yo, bro, let me know, bro, if you want. I can give you a line one of these days." And when he told me a line, I thought he meant like, you know, cocaine or something, like a line. I didn't think he meant anything other than cocaine. I thought he meant just cocaine. So this day, saw him in the bathroom, and he told me he was like, "Yo, at lunchtime, I'm gonna go do a line if you want to come with me." So this day I was like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm gonna do it. Let's fucking do it. So I was like, yeah, I'm down, bro. So he said, all right, meet me at lunch. So I met up with him at lunch. Um, we met up outside. Now this school, you were allowed to leave the school during lunchtime. You were allowed to go wherever you want. You had 20 minutes, no, 20 or 30 minutes to do whatever the fuck you want. Okay. So then basically what had happened was he said, all right, I'm gonna text my friend and we're gonna see where he's at. So he texted his friend, and his friend told him, "All right, yo, come to my car." So we went over to walk to his car, opened it, and it was look. Keep in mind, this is my first time ever meeting his friend. I never knew this kid prior to this situation. First time. So I'm like, "Hey, what's up, bro? How you doing?" He's like, "What's up, bro?" I'm like, "All right, let's do this." I was expecting some cocaine, right? That's what that in my mind. I'm gonna do cocaine. I'm gonna be high as fuck. I'm gonna be jumping off tables. But little did I know it would be the complete fucking opposite. All right. So next thing you know, these people pull out a pill, right? They pull out a fucking pill and it's blue. I'm like, wait a minute. Is that what I think it is? So I'm like, yo, is that fentanyl? And he's like, it has fentanyl in it. I'm like, bro, I thought you told me we were gonna do a line. He says, yeah, a line of this. I was like, a line of fentanyl. I'm like, I don't know if I should do this, man. Like, I've heard a lot of stories that people die. And he's like, yeah, you can die. You just gotta be very careful on how much you do and how you do it. I'm like, you sure? And he's like, yeah. He's like, listen, man, if you don't want to do it, you don't have to do this. You can just watch us do it. So I was like, all right, let me watch you guys do it first. So they were like, yeah, but we're not gonna snort it. We're gonna smoke this. I'm like, you're gonna smoke it? How do you smoke a fucking pill? I was a fucking newbie at the time. I did not know that you could smoke pills. Like, I was just like, I was a newbie at the time. I did not know anything. So they got the tinfoil. They how do you say? They started like not rolling the tinfoil, but like making it thicker. Like they started folding it into different positions, so they made it to like where it was flat. It was thicker and flat. So they got the pill, right. They put it in the middle. They grabbed the straw, put the straw in their mouth, and then put a lighter underneath the tinfoil, not directly under it, but underneath it. There is some space between it because if you place it right directly underneath, it'll burn the tinfoil just enough where the heat catches to the pill, right? So I was like, what the fuck? So they lit this shit up and they started smoking this shit. I'm like, God damn, like that's how you smoke a Percocet? They're like, yeah, man. I'm like, shit, why not just pop the pill? And they're like, well, you pop the pill, you just chances of you overdosing and dying, and you can also get more out of this. Instead of popping it, you can smoke it. You can get a uh, much more out of the pill than if you were to pop it. You can share it between multiple people. So I was like, all right, I guess so. So I was telling him, I'm like, shit, let me try to smoke it. So I tried it. and I was like wasting the hits. Like I did not know how to like do this shit. I was like, I'm like, what the fuck? And they're like, yo, just hit it harder, like hit it more harder. So I was sucking this shit, no homo. I was sucking the straw like hard as hell, inhaling this shit. So I finally caught a smoke. I finally caught this shit in my lungs. Held it in for like a good 5 seconds, blew it out. I didn't feel anything. I was like, all right, let me snort it. So they grabbed another pill, crushed like less than a third, gave me that shit. Like they crushed that shit. I snorted it. I was done, okay? No more. So I was just waiting there chilling, watching these dudes just they were just like they kept on smoking and smoking and smoking. Next thing you know, my fucking friend, his friend, opens a car window and he starts vomiting everywhere. I'm like, yo, you good? And he's like, yeah, bro, this shit happens all the time. It's perfectly normal. I'm like, there's nothing normal about this, my guy. Like we're smoking Percocet. Come on now. And basically, after he was done vomiting, they were done. They ended up finishing this shit. Lunch was over. Went to the bathroom. Me and my friend. He was like, yo, I gotta throw up, bro. I don't feel too good. I'm like, you should have never smoked that much fucking pills, dude. And he started throwing up. Like this dude, he was gone, bro. His eyes were low as fuck. He was slurring his speech, doing all types of like weird ass animations. Like he was leaning against the fucking wall, all types of shit. I was like, God damn, like, are you good? Like, I can get somebody. You want me to get you some water? He's like, nah, bro, don't. He's like, no, bro, I'm good, bro. I'm good. Let me just stay here for a little bit. I'm like, are you sure, bro? You're gonna overdose. He's like, no, bro, I'm not, bro. This is normal. This always happens to me all the time. I'm like, okay, man, I'm gonna go to class. You see, I was perfectly fine. Like, I felt it, but I wasn't like, I wasn't like he was. I didn't feel sick. Maybe a little itchy, but that's pretty much it. Not, but no sickness. Just I was chilling. It was a nice little feeling because I didn't do too much. I took one hit and like barely a bump. You know what I mean? So I went to class. He went to class. Saw him a couple hours later. He was fine. Uh, Basically, these guys they have like a certain tolerance to these things. The more they do it, the more they tend to need more and more and more. Until one day they do way too much and then they fucking die. They overdose. His friend overdosed on this shit. He almost died. He literally did die, but that's a different story time. Honestly, I don't even think I can even tell you a story time because I wasn't even there. But I can like mention it, how it happened, what I was told, and things like that. But that's pretty much the story, guys. The moral of the story is don't do fucking fentanyl. That's basically the fucking story. Don't do this shit. This shit will kill you. It will end your life. And I'm just telling you guys right now, don't do this. I don't do these things anymore. I've been sober for a long time. I'm 19 years old. I'm currently in school to be a firefighter, but things aren't really working out the way I wanted it to. So that's why I'm making these videos, hoping it can take me somewhere, hoping I can build some type of fan base and where I can be brutally honest and explain how I really feel. Tell you guys these story times because I have a lot of story times where I could just be myself and tell you guys how I am as a person and as a human being. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys watching this video. If you enjoyed, like the video, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time.